Did it feel like this was post-war? Was that in your mind? This is post-war Lebanon?
It was not in my mind. It was everywhere. My school was at Mathaf, and I had to go to Berbir. And to go from Mathaf to Berbir, I have to go through Ras al Naba. Ras al Naba was completely destroyed.
Welcome to another episode of Quartertones. My name is Mikey Mhenna. Today on the series, I feel like I am going back into my childhood. I'm speaking to Wael Kodeih, who is one of the founding members of Aks'ser, influential group from my childhood. Wael is also known as Rayess Bek. Wael, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me. It's a real pleasure to be here.
Since I mentioned my childhood, I'm curious what you listened to as a kid. I love asking people what they listened to as a kid. So I think we're roughly the same age, give or take. So if I saw you as like a 14-year-old, what sort of like cassette mixtape did you have?
14, basically hip hop. Basically, but not strictly hip hop. Because of course you had the huge Michael Jackson, Madonna, etc. Prince was like, wow. So at that time, and you have, the dance, the parties we used to do, like we used to dance in circle, and only you can pick one person, and I used to love this. And we used to listen to Dr. Alban. You remember these beat machines? Remember the music at the beat machine? Like you had Dr. Alban style and Sweet Dreams and all these great songs that I still listen to sometimes when I feel nostalgic and I wanna like I wanna do this stupid party at home, like being stupid while dancing. Like it's so refreshing. So, but my the serious music I used to listen to was what I would call the conscience hip hop with like today we said woke, with a political and social statement, like hip hop that with some real text.
Who are we talking about? You're talking like Public Enemy or Tribe Called Quest? Who are you talking about?
Definitely, if you also have, I used to listen more to, of course, the huge American hip hop stars, but also like later on Immortal Techniques, but also in French, because I'm French educated. I used to listen to IAM. Actually, the first song that I've ever discovered in hip hop, like really completely changed my life, was a song by the French hip hop band IAM, and it is called J'aurais pu croire. I could have believed in. And if you listen to the lyrics today, they're talking about George Bush, they're talking about Saddam, they're talking about Israel, Palestine, it's a very political song. And it was the first time that I would really think like, oh, we can do this in a song. Like we can have a political statement, or we can say our opinion in a song. It doesn't have to be just about love or whatever, the standard, the typical subject. And it completely changed my mind. I said, oh, so I can write kind of a poem or something that is very personal or a political opinion and make it as a song. It was a huge discovery for me.
Okay, so for the uninitiated, I just want you to, I'm glad that you brought up IAM, because I feel like people in the US have never heard of IAM in general. They don't have a huge following in the US. But I think they're super important outside of the US.
Definitely.
So can you just introduce people to this group? If you can just give like a general sense who these guys are, how you would describe their music in general.
Well, it's a difficult exercise. It's about 5 or 6 guys that lived in not very wealthy neighborhood of Marseille. And they were not the first, but they started to make songs in rap songs in French, and they had different songs. Actually, the most famous song of IAM is Je danse le mia. It's not my favorite song. It's actually, they specialists would say this is not even a rap song. They took a sample of "Give Me the Night," the famous.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a funk or disco song, and they rap on
Yeah.
it, and
The dance classic.
exactly. And this is
Yeah.
what make them very famous. But it's not my favorite song at all. They have many songs with a lot of very interesting lyrics. Sometimes it's complete imaginary word with dragons, but still they refer to spirituality. It's a very spiritual band, and sometimes to social issues or political issues, and sometimes it's very personal. It's their personal life. So it's a very sincere group. If I want to resume, if I want to summarize this band in one word, I would say it's a very sincere group. This is what I like about.
Amazing. Okay, so you grew up from what I understood, is your early years were in Beirut, and then at some point you moved to France. Walk me through some of your childhood and how that shaped your music as well.
So in '82, with the Israeli invasion, my parents used to live in the south of Lebanon, and of course they ran away from Israeli invasion to France. And I was 3 years old. Then I grew up in France for 10 years. Then after the civil war ended, like in '92, like a lot of Lebanese diaspora, we went back to Beirut. And then I spent there, I did some college and university. And then after the war in 2006, I went back to Beirut, to Paris from Beirut. And then since then, I went back to Beirut. Since then, it's a valse, like back and forth between France and Lebanon. I spent many years in Lebanon. Then after the great explosion, I went back to it. It's been like this for 4 years, like running away from Lebanon and then saying, I need to go back to Lebanon, and then getting back to Lebanon and saying, now I had enough of Lebanon, etc. Like, I love
The sort of abusive relationship that
exactly
we all know very well.
Yeah.
Were you one of those kids that was always writing rhymes and making, making jokes? And were you like a pretty musical and pretty funny kid even before you started performing?
No, I don't think I was a funny kid, but I was this kid that would write a poem and read the poem every morning in front of the whole class. And but in a nice way. I used to enjoy writing poems. And I know I am more this very quiet kid that you could put in a room with a paper and some a fork, and that will play with this paper and fork for 4 hours without saying anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just like fall into your dreams.
Exactly. I had my own world, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanna jump into Aks'ser شوي and talk a little bit about this project from, at this point, 25 years ago, which is crazy to even say out loud.
Definitely.
It's a quarter of a
Definitely.
century. You were a kid. You were a kid when you guys worked on this project.
Yeah.
How did Aks'ser start?
It's a very funny story. I used to have a band not even a band, with some friends at school, and we used to make French hip hop. I used to write in French because my Arabic was very weak, actually. because I grew up in France and it was very difficult to learn Arabic there, even though my parents tried a lot. Then I had this band called QPA, Quand la prose assassine. We were, I don't know, I was 15. And on Mix FM, the radio, I don't know if it still exists, Mix FM.
Yeah.
They used to make a hip hop show. I don't know, once a week. And once they did this amazing the hip hop contest. Like they did a hip hop contest in a place called Daytona that does not exist anymore. It was a very funny place. على Autostrade Junior, I don't know where.
Yeah.
And I was really like 15 or 16, and it was live on the radio. And I went there with some friends, and we did this contest, and we were number 2. And it was like crazy. We were really kids, but having a lot of fun. Like really, I remember I took my mom's car at 15 or 16. It was crazy. Like I don't even understand how my mom accepted. Like, hey, حبيبي خد السيارة روح أوتوستراد جوني, no problem.
عادة.
عادي, it's crazy. أنا إنه حتى ما عندي دفتر سواقة يعني. Anyway, and on the radio, Hussam, who is the Ibn Fulan, the second rapper of Aks'ser, heard the song and got in contact with me through my cousin اللي كانت إنه بنفس المدرسة. You know the Lebanese, like everyone is connected to everyone, and he talked to me, say, yeah, let's do more songs together, blah blah blah. And we had this Fête de la Musique in '97. It was the first Fête de la Musique after the war, and it was gonna be huge لأنه Shab Khaled was coming the day before Fête de la Musique. So they built a huge stage in Stade de Shaila, and they were expecting a lot of people, but Shab Khaled never came. I don't remember why. So we had this huge stage for local bands, like it never happened in the history of Lebanon. And we went and we did the first like QPA concert in French, and we just realized that not everyone speaks French in Lebanon. I mean, we were kids and stupid, and really like, Umm Hussam, like she came after the show or something like this, said, you have to do this in Arabic, guys. And we were like, what? In Arabic does not exist, nobody. And said, no, you have to do it in Arabic. And she convinced us, and we wrote the first song, اسمها Safeit Aks'ser.
Yeah.
It was not even the name of the band, Safeit Aks'ser. And so the idea of this song was, no, I'm a minister, and Hussam is, I don't know, the son of I don't know who, and we have some privilege, and we have a huge car, and we're abusing of our political privilege.
Yeah.
So this was the song.
So I want to play the song. I have it. Okay. I have it queued up.
Yeah.
I want to play the song because this is as you said, the origin of the name, which I think is probably the best name of any group that's come out of Lebanon. So this is the origin. And you can find this on YouTube on DJ Lethal Skills account still.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's listen. 1998.
وبعدها بتلوموني ليه صفيت بعكس السير فهمان قبلين او مش قبلين بالحالتين بدي صفة على العميان عشان مني مين ما كان شو لكان بسرعة سكر عين بفتح لك عين بسكر السرعة مين ما كان بيسبولي وين ما كان فلام ايد عالكوع بالدنيا ما حدا قدي بحاجة غيرها جدي بصفة كيف ما بدي بعكس السير مليونير كان جدي ما عشق تقبضوا مني نفسك تاخدوا مني وهلا ملياردير هدي اذا فيك تهدي وسعة تقول ما بقدر كلها قتلي ما تخزني مستعجل فبليز انقلي على اليمين من بياع الجاجي صار يسموني زعيم بس اصف بعكس السير الناس بيقولوا الله يعين وبتعرف تعطي تنفس بدك تاخد زميل تشبيح كذب سرقة بلد ما بقى يسيع كل صفاتي ببين وبس.
Okay, Wael, I have a question. I'm going to put this down. True or false? Do you still know that verse?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I was so
I
hoping.
don't think so.
I was so hoping you still know it.
I'm not sure. I've never tried actually, but I don't think so.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Do you like? Does this make you smile or does this make you kind of cringe?
No, it makes me smile a lot. لأن you have a lot of behind stories. Like you see this, we stand on Mathaf. We put I don't know how we get power to make the vinyl spin.
Yeah.
I don't know how we, but what I know is that the army came and just took us, removed us from, at Mathaf, you have this building that is for the intelligentsia, it's for the mukhabarat.
Yeah, it's the security.
Security. And we came with our camera. It was a French girl that we've met like a few days ago. She said, come, let's make a video clip. And she had a very small camera and she was a tourist, or I don't know what she was doing in Lebanon at that time. And you see this guy on the motorcycle, spinning the motorcycle, just the guy that we stopped on the road, say, hey, we're doing video clip. بدك تجي تخمسها? And he was like, yeah, why not? And the yellow car, it's also a guy that we just met on the street and just did like improvised everything in one day, just having fun with the camera in Beirut.
Yeah.
We got caught by the army. Then we had to make some phone calls. So they released us and give us back the tapes. So behind this video clip is actually the story of Lebanon. And this is the reality of Lebanon, I would say. Like here we met these friends. They were walking. We say, hey, let's make and we were improvising everything. And let's make like if you're walking and we just,
we don't care.
Yeah, we just this privileged people, and we push you and we just walk because we don't really care about people, and we were just improvising everything.
Yeah, it's funny.
Everything.
You guys are backpack rappers.
But also because we really had like stuff in our backpack and we don't know where to put them. It's like really. Oh, we also had this Mercedes, like the huge Mercedes. This was not improvised. We got it from, I don't know, friend, and it's a real minister car, like it's a bulletproof car. So the idea was to get out of this Mercedes wearing blazers and everything. So no, we had a lot of fun actually. We really had a lot of fun.
Did you guys become popular quickly after this? What happened?
So after this song, we didn't have a really band name. People started to call us Aks'ser.
No, حطيت على YouTube, or how did it go out? How did the people find out about it?
ما كان في يوتيوب, ما كان في internet.
Exactly. So how did it was an Napster thing? Was it?
We did this video clip and then we went to televisions knocking on the door and say, hey, we're a new band. We have this video clip. Would you like to play it? And people looked at us like, who are you guys? We were kids coming with a video clip. And yeah, the context is very complex because at that time, they were not, I mean, young people would not make music. Like music was the music industry, like George Wassouf, Ala Zalzale, etc. But not young people having a tape, having a video clip. So it was very complex for us to come. But at that time, Future TV and كان في كمان Zen TV. I don't know if you remember this television.
No, I don't actually.
So Zen TV was the future television. It was saying that like future, but it was for young people, and it was very well done. Like kind of MTV, but with some programs and basically, of course, Télé Liban. But basically, we got television coverage. Don't ask me how. I think we were the first young people doing stuff. It can be the music show. The music show by a guy, a very nice guy that used to invite us a lot. Anyway, we were filling a gap actually, and this is how it worked.
I have a question because when I was in high school, I loved hip hop. I've always loved hip hop, and I know how to play music. And so in high school, there was always the rock guys and the rap guys. This fake dichotomy for some reason.
Yeah,
do you listen to Metallica or do you listen to Tupac and Biggie?
Definitely.
And if you're into music, you if you get invited into bands and you start playing in the band scene, there's basically only the rock scene. And in Lebanon, that was very, very true. So did you feel part of what was happening in the indie alternative music scene? Were you kind of aware of what was happening with the other indie bands like Soap Kills and stuff like that? Did you feel like, oh, we're a part of the same thing?
Yeah, we used to work a lot. We were 3 bands doing original composition. The rest was covers. They were used to play Metallica, Amashadi's band, they were more jazzy, but we were like Soap Kills, Aks'ser, and Scrambled Eggs.
Yeah.
So in order to make a decent concert, you have to imagine that in Lebanon, it was super complex. لأنه to find one microphone was hell. Like a real microphone, not a toy.
Karaoke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to find speakers, so we used to gather the 3 band together and try to rent stuff. Even renting, I mean, even if you had the money, the material was non-existent in the 90s. So we bought a lot of stuff actually from Europe, like friends coming from Europe, like, can you buy this microphone? Can you get this cable? Can you, just to be able to make a decent concert? It used to take us months. We used to gather the lighting in my car, then go rent some speakers there. ما كان في venues like now you go to Metro or you go to I don't know where, it's already there. You just come, you plug and play.
Yeah.
So we had to work together, and it was very nice, like try to make things happen. We used to play on the street. We used to play in bars that were not... كان في Kalinka. Kalinka was the only place a little bit okay, and the cables were crazy, speakers were a little bit... So yeah, we were part of this
Can't
community.
move too much.
Exactly. It was like... It was the end of the war. It was just right after the war.
Yeah.
Like, just to give you an example, I remember when I came back from France, I was like 15 years old. It has nothing to do with music. And we had a cat. Okay, so my mother told me, go buy some cat food. So I was searching for a supermarket, and there were no real supermarket. And في دكانة بس إنه supermarket. So I found like a small co-op, and I went. It was super messy. And I couldn't find anything. So I just went to a guy and I told him, do you know where I can find food for my cat? And the guy looked at me and he got super angry. Like, he went red. Food for your cat? But we're not even able to give food to human. You want food for your fucking cat? It was like, Okay. Relax. So this was Lebanon in the 90s.
Yeah.
With
ورجعنا.
Inshallah la.
Inshallah la. Did you feel like did it feel like this was post-war? Was that
Yeah.
in your mind? Like, this is post-war Lebanon?
It was not in my mind. It was everywhere. Like, to get back from my school when I was 14, I cannot forget this. I had to go, my school was at Mathaf, and I had to go to Berbir. And to go from Mathaf to Berbir, I have to go through Ras al Naba. Ras al Naba was completely destroyed. Like, you couldn't find anyone living there. It was the Green Line, so it was completely destroyed. And I had to go through there walking, and it was scaring, like super scaring, to get to Berbir and Ekhot Service. So no, the war was everywhere. We had 4 or 6 hours of electricity per day. I mean, now it's not better, I know. But
Yeah.
destruction was everywhere. Downtown was completely closed and you cannot cross. And once I was able to go there, it was like the picture you see of Gaza today. Complete destruction was everywhere. So you knew the war was still there. And people used to, it was a lot of tensions, and people used to hate each other a lot. I mean, what happened there was it's not easy to forget and to forgive.
The transition from that reality to, I think, like the almost like the post-war period, where there was almost this amnesia, whereas like, what are you talking about? Mafishi, we're all totally fine. Everything's totally fine. And no, what war? La, this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
This period is, when I reflect on it, it's almost like it turned on a dime, you know?
Because in my opinion,
go ahead.
what happened is that when Hariri came and did this weird deal with the banks, people had money. Even if everything was fake, we know it now. But then people were getting more wealthy, and so it's like he kind of bought peace, trading war with money. So when you feed the people, when you make them feel like, you know what, this country is a difficult place, but we can make it with money. We can have a nice living with money. People quickly forgot about the war and the tension. And this is how fake it was. Like, you know what happened in 2019.
What is your relationship like with Lebanon artistically? Is it a tense relationship? Is it a warm relationship? Productive relationship? How do you feel about it?
For me, it's a source of inspiration. I do not get inspired in any other countries for a stupid reason, but it's a reality. I really like, of course, we all have a love-hate relationship with Lebanon because it's very hard. I would love to be in Beirut and to live in Beirut. It's very hard for me to be outside of Lebanon. But I have the feeling that people there are so different, sometimes not in a good way, that it's really inspiring. You can see stuff that you won't see anywhere else. Or at least, I did not visit the entire world, but at least as far as I know.
I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about some of your sort of transition from Rayess Bek to Wael. And I don't know if you would be comfortable calling it sort of like a musical evolution or an artistic evolution, or a change. How do you think of those two different sort of artistic personas?
Well, I think what happened there is I worked in hip hop for 15 years, and it was amazing. I mean, honestly, I was really lucky. It's not just about your talent, or it's more than that. There are a lot of talented people that never had the opportunity that I got. I think it's also the chance to be one of the pioneer, but also the chance to have a family that helped me and told me, go ahead, do whatever you want. Because my father is as an artist, he's a painter, so I had this also background helping me. But then I felt like two things: writing the way I would write lyrics is too frontal. It's too, for me, it was too, I don't know how can I, yeah, too frontal. I wanted to write in another way. I want to say things with different languages. So I started making different projects, and one of the first projects that I did was a project called Goodbye Schlöndorff, where I found some tapes at my parents' house, and these tapes used to be audio letters. So people in Lebanon, I don't know if you heard of that, but a lot of Lebanese did that. And during the war, people used to record letters to their families on tapes. Mainly it was the mother and the children that would record to a father that was somewhere Bel Khalij or in Europe trying to make some money, while the rest of the family was still in Lebanon under the war. So I found my grandmother actually talking to my mother, and I found some audio tapes, and I started looking for these great memories that were trapped on magnetic tapes. And these tapes were 30 years old, so they were in very bad shape because magnetic get used to get like erased with time. And I decided that these letters, I mean, people were saying a lot of things. It was not about the war itself. They were not talking about war, but they were talking about their everyday life in times of war. And this was super interesting for me.
Yeah, which tells you more about the war than talking about the war.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let's play a clip I found on YouTube. This
Okay.
is on YouTube under the Goodbye Schlöndorff. And let's play a little bit of it.
I bet you're going to have your article ready before we land.
Right.
Liebe Greta, vergiss bitte rasch das ganze Theater von gestern. Meine Schwierigkeiten mit dir sind in Wirklichkeit die Schwierigkeiten mit mir selbst.
مساء الخير يا بي، كيفك؟ كيف صحتك؟ هياني هربت مثل ما قالت امي الي شهرين مش نايمه بالنبطيه. وجيت لنام يوم الاثنين، قصفوا حدنا عند بيت بو انور، ايش القذيفه بالمنظمه فوق يعني عند بيت بو انور، وراح حرق على وجهي انا. قمت حملت حالي وهربت يوم الثلاثاء لدبرهم بيت.
Hier ist alles ruhig bei unserer Ankunft. Keine Schüsse, kein fernes Grollen. Aber ich fühle, dass alles jederzeit explodieren kann. Das hat auch mit dir zu tun, Greta. Ertragen wir den Frieden zu Hause nur deshalb nicht, weil er ein Friede ist. Dabei haben wir uns doch von allen die besten Bedingungen hergestellt, durch die es möglich sein muss, uns alles sagen zu können.
مزين أنا مشتاقة لكم كتير كتير، بس الحمد لله اللي أنتم بخير وعافية. إجا وسام وطمنا عنكم والحمد لله وقرينا المكاتب، وبس انشغل بالي على مزين. وسام ما قاليش إنه معاها طرف سكري، بس قال لي تعبت كتير ومن الوحام، وكانت بدها تيجي لهون، وكنت تقول إني أنا كتير متضايقة.
I'm going to stop here. I'm curious, Wael, emotionally, how does this come in? How does this feel? It's so interesting watching you watch this. I mean, the people listening to the podcast are listening, but watching you watch this is like super interesting.
Actually, I completely forgot this version. This is one of the early versions I did, and that is super valid because it was the beginning of the thinking of this project when I mixed it with this movie called Die Fälschung, Le Faussaire, from a very well-known director called Wael Schlöndorff. And this guy actually went to Lebanon in the 80s or something like this. Yeah, just before the Israeli invasion. And he managed to have a secure space in downtown Beirut. This is crazy. During the war to shoot a movie. To shoot a movie. So, and he actually asked the military men that were there from different to come and act in his movie like they were real military men. And he asked them also to have what we call blank bullet, empty bullet, but they refused.
Yeah.
So these military people, like, they were during the night fighting each others, and during the day acting in this movie as if they were fighting each other. So this is what money can make.
Yeah.
Like, it's really a matter of money and power. Like a white guy coming, he can stop the war in an area, and he can pay people to pretend doing war that they are really doing. It's crazy. And what's interesting, it's these footage are interesting because it's like probably the only 35 millimeters color in color of Beirut that we have.
Yeah.
The movie is not a great movie, but it's a nice movie to watch. But what's super interesting is that at that time, when I found these tapes, Arte re-edited the movie with a small 45-minute making of. And the making of is super interesting because you have this German guy wearing a keffiyeh, talking about his movie that he was shooting.
Yeah.
And walking in downtown Beirut completely destroyed.
Crazy.
And but yeah, I forgot this part because I think I removed some very emotional part. It was very hard to listen to my grandmother that I knew talking to my mother. And I always think about what will we do with the voice note that we send to people.
Yeah.
Will they get erased? Can we archive them? Will we archive them? And I don't know. Is everything soft? Everything like the footages, the recordings, gonna get lost in some cyberspace? Or are we gonna be able to archive some snippet of our life?
Yeah,
So
it's crazy. I mean, family members of mine who have passed away, every now and then I go and listen to some old voice notes, and it's so surreal.
Yeah. Actually, that's what happened to us, and we were trying to save these voice notes. It's very hard to archive, very hard to get even the writings, like the whole thread in WhatsApp is very hard to get to archive it somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like caught in a web.
Yeah.
I wanted to share another version of Goodbye Schlöndorff that I found online because there's a live performance aspect of it, which I understand.
Vergiss bitte rasch das ganze Theater von gestern. Meine Schwierigkeiten mit dir sind in Wirklichkeit die Schwierigkeiten mit mir selbst.
مساء الخير يا بي، كيفك؟ كيف صحتك؟ هيني هربت مثل ما قالت امي الي شهرين مش نايمه بالنبطيه. جيت لنام يوم الاثنين، قصفوا حدنا عند بيت بو انور. ايش القذيفه بالمنظمه فوق يعني عند بيت بو انور وقت حرق عوجي.
So was it always designed as a project to be a live performance? Was that the idea من الأول?
I can't remember. Actually, I tried to make it as an installation.
Yeah.
But I think that I think the space where I feel comfortable with is the stage. So it was designed as a performance. I think it was my tool to make it as a performance. Then we also make a tape. We also recorded and just put it back on tape with the music. So the idea was to take it from the tape and put it back on tape. And the person that you hear talking right now is actually someone that I don't know who it is. I just found a voice on a tape. It's a very long letter, like half an hour. She's talking to her father, and she seems very confused. And what's interesting here is the relation between the father and the daughter. And she's like kind of finding some excuses because she couldn't go, I don't know where, because of the bombs, and she's really sorry. And we never hear what the dad is saying, but we can imagine that he's not a very nice guy, and he's like, "I'm bi'atiba," like you could have done better. And it's very interesting because you understand the whole dimension, the whole social and family dimension. And the war here is just a background.
It seems like the later projects, like I want to talk about Love and Revenge. It seems like some of your later projects are really focused on this like interactive theatrical I don't know if concert is the right word or multimedia experience. How would you describe these types of projects? Like let's talk about Love and Revenge.
I call them visual concert.
Okay.
Like it's still concerts, you still have musicians, but there is a screen and something is going on the screen, and it is and it's alive. It's not just a recorded screen or some visuals playing in the background. Something is happening with the music, as if the video was a musician.
Can we play a little bit of Love and Revenge? There's this little clip I want to play, and then I want to talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks for letting me jump around. I'm just there's too much.
No, it's very nice.
Okay. So this is a clip on Vimeo, which people can find. Okay, so as this finishes up, can you tell me why the title and what do you think this project is about?
Love and Revenge is غرام وانتقام. It's a title of a movie, of the last movie of Asmahan.
Yeah.
She shot in 44 during the World War II. So it's her last movie because she died before being able to finish the shooting, and they had to change the scenario because the main actress died. So she actually killed her in the movie, killed
Wow.
the character in the movie. And the way she died is quite interesting because there are a lot of rumors. Actually, her car fell into the Nile, and they never found the body.
Yeah.
And the driver was not her typical driver. It was her driver was sick, and so the guy that was driving, also we never found his body. So he disappeared. He just came once, drive this car, disappear in the Nile. So what they say is that Asmahan was a double agent, and that she worked for the German but also for the British. And at that time, this is a rumor. We don't know if it's true. Actually, maybe we'll never know. The British wanted to attack Turkey through and to pass through Syria. So what happened is that they asked Asmahan, because she was a Druze princess, so she had a huge influence on Druze. So her role was to talk to the Druze and to tell them to let the British army pass without any issue, because they wanted to pass through the Druze mountains. And when the British arrived, they got stuck with the Jews, the Druze and not the Jews. And actually the Druze attacked the British army, and they said they found, it's a legend. We don't know if it's true, but I love this kind of stories. And they found Asmahan running away with some cash. So it's a movie. It's an amazing movie.
I love it.
So they thought maybe that she told the German, because Turkey was pro-Nazi. So Turkey was with the Germans. So she would have told the Germans that the British are gonna attack, and they gave her some money. We don't know if all this is true, obviously. And there's also a rumor saying that Kulthum killed her. I don't like this version. It's less
salacious. It's less complicated. It's less fun.
Less fun. But what's amazing here is that reality went further than fiction. And this is quite interesting when you see that the movie Gharam wa Intiqam it's a love movie. It's a nice movie. It's a classical movie to watch. But the story behind it is much more interesting. And this is usually what I love in cinema.
There's an amazing book about this. Have you seen the book by Lamia Ziadeh?
Definitely, it's beautiful.
It's amazing. So anyone listening who is curious to learn more about sort of all the theories, the book by Lamia Ziadeh is amazing. So you can check it out. Okay, as the photos were on the screen, I kept on thinking, it seems like a completely bygone era. Like, it seems like a different planet that Asmahan existed in, right? But Asmahan was a Arab performer, entertainer, who was producing visuals and and music and lots of things, and was influencing culture. Do you ever feel like you're part of this legacy?
I think we are all part of this legacy. We don't have to be a musician or performer. I think this is our patrimoine, and you know what's the difference between? I'm going to be very radical, but you know what's the difference between the Arabs and the European? That they really take care of their past, and they really put it somewhere that is very interesting. Our past is super interesting, but we don't really care about it. And probably it's because we have so many issues with our present that we're unable to focus or to, when I say take care of the past, is really archiving and give it, and really giving this real value, and saying, everybody knows Asmahan is a great singer, but it's not enough. With the project Love and Revenge, it's a project that I initiated with Randa Mirza. Randa was doing the visual. I was revisiting the songs in order to revisit the past in a new way, in our contemporary way, not just to have fun. I know it can be seen as a fun project, but it's not that simple. The main difficulty was to find the rights of the songs, because no one care about these songs. You have the music industry and the cinema, the film industry, and the Arab world is amazing and used to be just impressive. And we don't have our proper archiving. We don't really care. The people that would archive Asmahan, Kulthum, or even much more. I mean, Asmahan, Kulthum is the top of the iceberg. You have plenty of musicians and artists that we don't really know the names, that are completely forgotten. And most of the time it's just a record label, because they want to make money out of it. So they do a proper archiving. It's good. But as a community, or of course as a government, we don't really care about our heritage. And this is our heritage. I mean, it's unbelievable. We cannot forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Preaching to the choir on this one.
Yeah.
Definitely. And yeah. But you know what the thing about the heritage thing is, and I think your work tries to interrogate this, is that the tip of the iceberg is simple, right? It's it's very simple to understand, right? Everyone underneath the water is so complicated. And they have layers and layers and layers to their relationship to this legacy that they are entering into, the stream that they're entering into. They have complicated relationships to it. For example, you're a good example, right? Born in Nabateeh. Here's a great example. A kid born in Nabateeh who goes to France in 1982 because of the Israeli invasion and later 18-year-long occupation of southern Lebanon. Goes to France, comes back, Nabateeh, okay? Comes back and releases his first song in French and needs to be told, dude, not everyone speaks French.
Yeah.
Nabateeh.
It has one word.
What is it?
Colonialism.
Mm.
This is who I am. I'm a product of colonialism. I mean, we've been talking in English in this podcast. Yeah. I don't really speak English. My English is shit. Why? Colonialism. But after the post-colonialism, of course, post-colonialism is a globalization. Is drinking Starbucks coffee when you have the best coffee in the world in your country. Yeah. This is our reality. It's speaking French to an Arabic audience because you don't even realize as a kid that they don't speak French. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're
It's
just
crazy.
But yeah, my point is that almost everyone underneath that tip has internal contradictions. It's not only external contradictions, internal contradictions, which is always surprising. It shouldn't be surprising anymore, especially given the work that I'm doing. It shouldn't continue to surprise me, but I continue to be surprised in a delightful way.
Yeah. And I also think that what's happening, the genocide that's happening in Gaza is also like redistributed the cards in a more clear way.
Yeah.
I think we got lost in time. We got lost of who we are or who we would like to be. These are two questions that are very complex. It can be different things. We can be someone and would like to be someone else, but there is a connection between both. And I think that how I lived it in France here, because I was here when the genocide happened and still is happening in Gaza, and I saw the reaction of French people. I was devastated. Like, people were not really, didn't feel really implicated. They felt like, oh, it's something happening. And this is where I felt that there is a gap. There is a huge gap between my identity and the country where I live.
Glad. I want to play some of the songs that you sent over that are more recent projects. So let me load them up because I want to talk about some of the new stuff that you're working on. So
Okay.
let me pull this up. The first one I have is Leily. All right. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about this, and then before I start playing it.
So this is an album. It's a solo album. It's a very intimate album called Bahr, and it's an album that I did during the past 3 years that were pretty complex years for everyone, but especially in Lebanon, because we had, of course, the COVID, but also Beirut explosion, the port explosion, and I was 500 meters away, and also the financial crisis. And this is actually a reflection on, of course, the identity. We just talked about that, or where we come from, who we are, and what is our heritage. And doesn't mean that we cannot complexify our identity or fluidify our identity to have a fluid identity by speaking other language than Arabic, and by adopting some puzzles of other identities, like taking from other cultures to enrich our own identity. And this is what I did in this album. I took songs that are unknown, completely unknown, from it's recordings from the 30s to the 50s. So it's very early recordings. We can hear the recording is very old school. And sometimes we don't know the name of the singers. Sometimes we do. And I added some music to them. I cut them and added some music to them, like I would do in my own identity, like you would take.
You're sampling like a hip hop producer.
Yes,
Yeah.
like of course, I love sampling, but it's not just sampling. It's really taking the voice. Like, if the person was still here, and I want to make a song with the person, and she's alive, the singer is alive, and like it's a discussion, but it's also a way to nourish this music with new sounds, with analog sounds, just to make it feel different, and to make a bridge between different culture.
Okay, let's play. I have 3 songs loaded up. Can we start with the Leily?
Yeah.
Who's playing on this? Is it just you? You're loaded up basically track by track?
What do you mean?
Are there any other instrumentalists? Is this a collaboration or is this just you, solo entirely?
It's actually, I just took a part of a very long song, and we don't know who the singer is. The file is called Ataba. And I just took what we call the mawal, so it's a small improvisation on a scale, and she's singing Ya Leily Ya Ain, like a lot of improvisations in the Arab world used to be. And I constructed everything from scratch with, you can hear a guitar, and you can hear some drum machine and synthesizers. And yes, I did everything except the voice.
It's funny, as we're going through this, all of your projects are collaborations, right? Like you seem to work well with others. How did it feel to sort of have to do this solo? Or did it feel like you were doing it solo? Did it feel like you were collaborating with them?
No, I really wanted to do something solo, but it's not the first time that I do solo albums. With Rayess Bek, I did a lot of solo albums. The whole idea of doing Rayess Bek was to make some solo albums.
Yeah.
But and I enjoy a lot doing collaboration. I think the synergy that you can have, this ping pong vibe that you can have with someone is very interesting. It's a source of inspiration.
Cool. Let's listen to the next one too. This is off the same project. This is Safr Wahdk.
So this is part of Love and Revenge song
Oh, okay. This
project.
is not off the that same
This is
project.
not. It's not Bahr.
Okay, cool. Let's listen to this. Is the last one?
The last one is part of Goodbye Schlöndorff.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So this one, let's listen to a little more about Love and Revenge, and then we'll do a little more of Goodbye.
مسافر وحدك وفايتني لتبعد عني لتبعد عني وتشغلني وداني 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 من غير وداني من غير ما تسلم يا مسافر وحدك 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 يا مسافر وحدك
Just for time, I'm cutting them short. But where can people hear these songs?
Bahr is only available on Bandcamp,
Okay.
and Love and Revenge is on all streaming platforms or on my SoundCloud.
Okay, amazing. And then the last one from Goodbye, where is that? Where can people check that out?
On my SoundCloud.
Okay, cool. So what I think we're going to do for those listening, we'll put up a blog post with all the songs that we covered today in the episode, and embed the SoundClouds and the different Bandcamp links and YouTube links, so everybody can find all of them. Well, thanks so much.
It was a pleasure, really. With Abadak, there is a kind of a video clip for Bahr, one of the songs.
Yeah, where can I find it?
On YouTube. It's a very poetic vision, and this song is also Wael Kodeih, and it is Marie Jobran, that is a very interesting Lebanese singer from the 30s. That is not very well known, but did a great job.
Okay, hold on. I'm pulling this up. We can go out with that. Oh, yeah, صح. I see it. Okay, cool. Two weeks ago. Perfect. It's funny that it's under Rayess Bek.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know if at some point you decided, "Khalas, I'm gonna start going under the name Wael."
I tried. It was impossible for me. Really? Yeah. It got me, like, I really tried, and like professionals, like I was saying, no, please, let's put it on the Wael there. And people say, no, but we're targeting Rayess Bek. I mean, it's about Rayess Bek. And so I had to come back to this name.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So I'm going to play a little of this as we go out. Wael, Anjad, thanks so much.
It was a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Let's play a little bit of it. This is Bahr. All right. So everybody look out for that blog post article for all the clips and where you can find all the stuff. And thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.